We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We're deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. You're back on the air with the Restaurant Brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon, and We Sell Restaurants. We Sell Restaurants is the industry leader in restaurants for sale, franchise restaurant resales, and site location for the food service industry. We are franchising our brand nationwide. You can learn more about this opportunity online at WeSellRestaurants.com. We are currently in North Carolina, South Carolina, Colorado, and, of course, our headquarters here in Georgia. So, Eric, today we have some great representatives from the Women's Franchise Network and the Women in Franchising group formed out of the International Franchise Association. You have some questions, don't you?
Yeah, we're getting some great information today, so hopefully every listener is taking some notes because this is very good information. And I have a question that I'd like to ask Lauren, because I asked you before about people ready to franchise, but I also see people, they always want to, I want to sign a 10-store territory. They've never been to business and they're starting, and we see also people as restaurant broker, they open 1-2 units and they call us, says, I got to sell this. I mean, the wheels are coming off after one unit. So what are some of the traps and the pitfalls maybe that, becoming a multi-unit franchisee would have?
It's a great question, and it's something that my clients face often. And, really I see one big thing happening a lot, and it's feasible for a business owner to run 1 or 2 units and oversee both of them in a kind of managerial capacity. What's really tricky for a lot of people is to take a step back, put yourself in a leadership role, and really administer a second layer of management that goes over your multiple units. And it's usually around the 3rd unit that you're stretched so far as an owner, you really can't do day-to-day blocking and tackling operations as well, or as efficiently, I should say, and need to kind of step back and go up into a leadership role. So that first real overhead expense of hiring that manager or a general manager that can float over multiple units is really a critical decision to make for any business, and it's an investment back in the business. And I think sometimes people make the mistake, one, to either not hire that person quickly enough and they stretch themselves too far. Maybe they feel like the wheels are coming off, as you said. Or two, when they hire that person, they don't have a plan for rapid growth afterwards to really offset and spread the cost of that overhead on that one manager out over the additional revenue that you're getting from multiple units. So don't be shy, to add that extra headcount and give that person a great base salary, and maybe motivate them with some profit sharing over the multiple units that you're going to grow. And then get ready to grow. Really make that commitment to grow with that first person that you're hiring to help manage, and then get ready to go. And that, if I had to narrow it down to one real key issue, I think that's the biggest issue that people face when they're trying to grow and really become a successful multi-unit franchisee.
I love that answer. Clarissa, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that it's what we really work with our franchisees is to get them to work on their business, not in their business. And by that we mean don't get lost in the details to the point where, like Lauren was saying, the wheels come off. Sometimes step back and really look at how you're going to take your business to the next level. We can all make ourselves busy day in and day out and then realize that we really haven't looked at it from a strategic perspective.
Okay, and Debbie, do you have that same kind of point of view for your franchisees at Nothing Bundt Cakes?
Well, I will take a little bit of a different tack. First of all, I think timing is really important. Franchisees come into a franchise system, gung-ho, ready to go, open their first location, and then they're afraid of not having a territory available for growth. So they will sometimes choose to apply for growth before they're really ready. I think it's important that when a candidate comes in, they understand a franchisor's perspective on growth from within the system and when that might happen. I know for us, we had to develop a set of criteria that a franchisee needed to meet that we believed would set them up for success. So looking at the franchisor programs for that type of goal is really important before you ever join a system. And you do want to understand if the franchisor has a multi-unit support program so that you will put your best foot forward. When generally we see franchisees who open a second location, both businesses go down a bit because they really are learning that they've spread themselves thin and that it's much more difficult to run two than it is to run one. We see that their third one, if they are, as you said, Lauren, financed correctly, their third one becomes a little bit easier because they have stepped out and they're not working in their business, Clarissa. And then we do a lot to help them with their planning and making sure that they understand what kind of people they're going to need because they're not going to do it without the right people.
So I think really some great advice shared today. And one thing I don't want to leave the show without asking is that I know that there are different events held at the local level in different markets all over the country. So what's an example of an event that might happen in the Atlanta marketplace, Clarissa? And then maybe, Debbie, you can weigh in and tell us something that where folks who are listening to the show today could go and find more information and actually participate in a Women's Franchise Network event.
Terrific. Yeah, in Atlanta, we have an event actually coming up on July 21st. It's in the evening from 5:30 to 7. It's going to be at the Georgia Pacific Building downtown. And we're really excited because we're going to have representatives from the Small Business Development Center come and talk about the resources that they can also provide to franchisees and franchisors who are looking at building their system. So we are just real excited about that. And for additional information, people can reach out to me directly at clarissa.bradstock@anylabtestnow.com.
Okay, so Debbie, all these different chapters of the Women's Franchise Network are having events all the time. Are those posted on franchise.org, the IFA website?
The IFA.org is where anyone can go for information about franchising. And we do try to do our best with utilizing social media and Twitter, and then, of course, the international website. I will tell you that around the country there are things happening like women leaders in a community come to a meeting to talk to the group. Sometimes government officials are invited. A social media expert is attending a meeting so that you can really find out how you actually do the mechanics on your phone. Clarissa's meeting with the business development experts and the area experts is really a great idea. And then, of course, we work across the generations so that we have topics that work for millennials to boomers.
And I just want to weigh in because I'm part of the Women's Franchise Network group here in Atlanta and say we have talked a lot about our gender in this show today, but men are also welcome to attend the event. So
I've been there.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon, the Restaurant Brokers. You can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com. Take a quick minute. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/WeSellRestaurants. Our Twitter handle is @SellRestaurants. We'll be right back after this very brief timeout.